Hey YouTube family, it's your girl Ebone Cruz from successwithebonecruz.com. Now in this video, this is part of a podcast video series. We've been teaching you how to start your podcast, the equipment you need for your podcast. Now in this video, we're going to talk about the distribution of your podcast. How do you do that? Now, if you're ready to get going or you've already started your podcast, you may want to stick around as we share some easy tips and tricks to help you distribute your podcast and get those listeners. So you finally press record. Congratulations. Now we have to get listeners to your podcast. Let's start with the most obvious, which is social media. So whatever platform that you're on, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, on LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, even on YouTube, decide which platform you want to use, or maybe use all of them. On Facebook, you're definitely able to use different groups inside of Facebook, Instagram Reels, LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, you can definitely get inside of there, especially if you have a business-driven podcast, and share on your feed, and share also in your storyline. LinkedIn now has stories, but those are easy ways for you to distribute your podcast, right? When you are distributing, say you interview, be sure to tag the person that you interviewed in. Let them know that you're sharing and you want their help in promoting, driving listeners to your podcast. That is the easiest and best way, and also a strategic way of discovering which interviewees you would like to interview. Next, let's talk about your distribution process as it relates to where you're uploading your podcast and where people can listen to your podcast. So for example, Buzzsprout is a place that you can upload your podcast and then you send it off to Pandora, Spotify. Those are other areas where you can actually listen to your podcast. However, if you're looking for a network to help you do this, to take all the confusion out of it, just visit the Lincoln Road Media Project, and our team will be more than happy to help get your podcast uploaded, recorded, even edited if need be, and also on our list of directories. All right, so we take the handle out of that. Another distribution software that I have learned here recently is called Repurpose. Now, it is an incredible tool for distributing your podcast. You're distributing off of cross platforms, so you can very simply automate this. It's actually a way that you can share your podcast and convert it onto your YouTube videos, Facebook videos, blog posts, some of everything, tweets as well. It allows you to upload and anchor your RSS feeds. So that's why I was thinking about that one. However, it does come with a cost, and depending on how great it actually distributes your podcast, it could be worth the cost. So that's another video that I'll actually share with you all to teach you how to do that as well. All right, so those are some different ways. Another way as far as getting your podcast out is just submitting it to people. Our podcast is in the works of being on a local station here in the area that I live in, just based on I submitted it to get it reviewed. So those are things that you can also do. Lastly, use your friends and family. Friends and family are the best way to get your word out, to get your voice out. Now, I hear some people say that, when I started a business, my friends stopped sharing and liking things, but sometimes it's just a matter of asking. We assume people are going to share and like our stuff, but you got to make sure that you actually put forth the effort and ask, and even tell them thank you for doing so. All right. So that is pretty much it as far as when it comes to distributing your podcast. The only other thing that I would suggest is to start having people engage in your podcast by asking them to leave a comment or a like, depending on what platform you're on. Again, the Lincoln Road Media Project can help you as it relates to distributing your podcast, creating it, uploading it. We have a great engineer on our team that is open to help you create and get started as far as with your podcast. So click the link and learn a little bit more about the network and get started with us, all right? The last video of this, we're gonna interview a podcast expert that is going to put everything we've talked about in the last 3 videos of this series all into perspective of how you get going, how you monetize, and what are some easy tips and tricks to do that, all right? So her name is Melissa Guller, and we are excited to welcome her to our podcast and to YouTube to show you all how you can begin to monetize your podcast and start making money off the content you create. So I hope you enjoyed this video series. Be sure to drop us a comment, anything that you learned, anything you may disagree with. We want to hear that as well. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Until next time, YouTubers, let's keep on guiding this cruise of yours into success.